So we need to automate the growing of this so that we can automate the brewing of these. So then we'll use them to turn this, just so we can make a whole lot of this. Hello everybody, I'm DioSoul25 and welcome to the CreateSMP. In this episode we're going to be building a nether wart farm and seeing if we can turn some of that nether wart into some potions. So let's jump right into it. So between episodes we got a bit busy. We ripped out the bread maker and the milk farm, and these will be redesigned in a new location maybe, or in a more compact area somewhere. And I also opened it up and mined all of this out, which also leads back into this area, which is currently still just a work in progress. I did add a little washing station over there, and yeah, it looks good. But the big thing is we need to build a nether wart farm, and we're going to use that to create some interesting mechanics to create some interesting items. And I was thinking that maybe we can do the nether wart farm in the floor over here. So let's quickly dig all of this out. The hole has been dug, and I also went ahead and put on the growing platform and planted some of our nether wart just so we can see that we can start getting production going. But the next thing is the system to flood it all. So we're going to need some trapdoors. I got some stained glass here. I do have some buckets of water, and I think for this purpose let's just keep on finding random parts of my underground power system, or power, I don't even know what you want to call them, conduits. Okay, let's grab a few buckets of water, and then we're also going to need a torch, and we have a block, we have a torch, and just a lever for now. So what's going to happen is we're going to just add an extra block over here, some trapdoors. And then I did not grab the redstone. Let's just grab that real quick. The redstone dust. And then I'm just going to make a temporary little setup of where it's going to get its power from. But basically what's going to happen is we're going to have a block that has a redstone torch on it. And this will be always on, as to ensure that the power goes on. Oh, let's just remove that. We'll change that around a bit to ensure those are on at all times. And then we're just going to have water in these areas. So every now and then, will that now automatically? Yeah, it will. So every now and then, when I want to harvest it, I'll flick a switch or lever or something, and just to demonstrate, it will open up. And I forgot I didn't want to flood it, but it will run down all the way to the bottom and feed it down into this trench. So that's going to be that bot. So quickly going to add the corners and just replant some of this and bring you guys back. So the harvesting part of this farm is in, but we need to get all these nether wart planted again. And honestly, I do not like planting nether wart. So where I'm marked with torches, we're going to have a line of deployers. So I'm going to run a line of casing over all the way to the end, and then at the bottom of this we'll just go ahead and add a bunch of deployers like this. And then these deployers will each have a filter for nether wart, and they'll just be placing down the nether wart on this and plant everything that we harvested. But the problem is these deployers are too high to plant down here, so we're going to have to do a second planting arm running around across like this all the way to the edge, and we're just going to add another row of deployers, and we'll join these two up together. So when it gets triggered, they'll both move at the same time. These will plant over here, and these arms will plant down here. And that will then make sure that the planting part is also automated. Another thing I want to do is we need to have a storage for these. So we'll rip this one out and we'll just place in a barrel right over here. And in this, we'll leave a total of 2 spots for nether wart, because it takes approximately less than 2 stacks to plant the whole field. So because we have filters, the deployers will never take the dirt, but they'll always take the nether wart in these 2 slots, which makes it kind of perfect. So I think what I'm going to do quickly off camera is just connect the pusher and glue all of this together, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay, it's time to test this machine, but we're going to do it in 2 parts. We're first going to flood this entire area. I know not everything's grown, but we need some to set the filters and just to get some items in the inventories. So step 1, flood, and then I'm going to gather everything, put in the filters, put some items in the barrel, oops, and then I'll come back for step 2. And then step 2 will be to activate the machine and see if it plants everything, and that's going to have a temporary switch down here, or button, or whatever. Let's just do a button that I'll push, and it will move this machine. So first one, flooding. Can we push it from down up here? There we go. And we're just going to do that again. So it will slowly flood everything. Everything will flow through. So I didn't leave it on long enough, but it will end up in here. So quickly going to collect and do the filters and bring you guys back. So the other day I updated OBS and it's good, it's fine. But there's one wonky part, and that is it doesn't always start the recording when I push my shortcut. So I kind of did a lot of things. I did test the flooding system, but we'll do that again now. And it worked. And then I tested the planting system on camera, and it worked. But like I said, it doesn't always record. So let's just run all of this. So let me run you through it all. So if this floods, it will get forced all the way down there, onto a conveyor belt, onto this encased fan, it will blow it up, onto this conveyor belt. Some of it will go into the storage. Let's get up here. Whoop. Some of it will go into the storage and fill up those 2 slots, and the excess will go in here for now. So let's test it all, and the first thing we need to do is the water. So flood. There we go. We're just going to wait for it to pick up some speed. We're going to close it, and now they should go into this barrel to fill it up. And once it's full, the extras will go in there. There we go. And now we can just push this button, and then it starts planting everything. Okay, so I need to maybe just let it go 1 block further. But as you guys can see, it works. Fantastic, it works. And this area's been covered up. So what I did is I just kept a little 5 wide glass see-through hole and just did a little border around it. And yeah, everything's lit up, everything's working. We have a switch over here. It might stay here, it might move. And I did some redstone stuff. Let's just go down here. Come on. So what happens is you push that button, it sends out a signal into a pulse extender, which then allows for this to turn off. The water has enough time to wash everything down to the area down there, and once it turns off, it shuts off the water and it finishes draining. And then also we've got a delay of 18 seconds here, so once all of this has happened, then this arm will extend and plant all the crops, which is quite nifty. So we've got one switch that controls all of that. But something else I was thinking about is this area over here. I've been flying over to Miah's base on the other side of the river to use his mixer, to use his plate maker, and to use his machine for casing, and I used it also for sanding, and then I know he uses it for waxing, so I just wrote all of that. And I think I quickly want to just put those in here and see what it looks like, and hopefully we don't have to fly all the way over there anymore. And here we have the new workshop wall. It's not finished with decorations. I do want to make this look more like a cliff face, add a bit of detail, because it's very bland. It's not bland, but yeah. Anyway, so let's start on this side. So on this side we've got an input, so this is where we can make casing. So I have a bunch of materials ready, and I've got a bunch over here. So let's say we want to make 32 brass casings and 32 andesite casings, what we'll do is we'll chuck the materials in here. That will go into this hand, and if we put in then a stack of logs over here, it will just go through it and we'll just turn them all into casings quite fast, which is quite nice. And while it's doing that, I'll come back to this again just now. Over here we have our machine to make plates. I will label all of it. So again, quite simple. We just chuck in our materials we want to turn into plates in here, and that will start making plates, and the plates will all end up in here as well. Again, very convenient, so I can fill this up and I can just let it run. So now the casing's been done. You can see 32 and 32, which is grand. But let's say we want to get some rose quartz or waxed copper or something like that. So what we can do is in this one, in this one we'll take our sandpaper and we're just gonna chuck that in there. So now the sandpaper's in that hand, and if we put our items to be waxed or sanded, chuck them in here, this thing does that as well. Okay, we ran out of sandpaper, but you guys get the picture. So that's quite convenient. So not just does make casing, but it waxes and sands as well. This one is for mixing items. So currently I've got a recipe on it for brass only. So again, we chuck our items in on this side. And I did that wrong already. You need to do it like a mixture of the two. So now we'll do 8 of those. So I will figure this out a bit more, make it a bit better. But for now, if I do that, this thing will start mixing and creating brass for us, which is quite convenient. So we'll have to find a way to make this a bit more efficient, so I don't have to load it up the way I did just now. But that I will do between episodes. I also just want to show you guys how this farm works now. It's totally fully grown. So if we run over here and we push this button, the crop starts to harvest. It all makes its way down onto the conveyor belt, so nothing's left behind. Then it stops. And as soon as this clears up a few minutes later, because those nether warts first need to get to the barrel, it deploys, it goes back, and we're ready for the next crop. And if we go down here, let's quickly go see what the yield was. We've got quite a lot in this barrel over here, and we've got quite a lot in here as well. And I think this will be more than enough to plant it again. We only need 2 stacks, so that's kind of perfect. We can increase this one if we want to have a bit more in that unit, which I think we can do. Let's make it 20 seconds. Doesn't really bother me. So yeah, that works as well. So we're slowly starting to get more and more nether warts, which is perfect. Oh, and I also added a lever to turn all of this off, which also makes it work quite nice. So we ran out of time, but we have got ourselves a brand new nether wart farm, which is quite handy. I will make a tutorial on that farm very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But in the next episode, we'll look into making some redstone, maybe even making some glowstone with that nether warts. But till then, I hope you guys enjoyed. Do like, do subscribe, and also remember to go check me out on Twitch, which is www.twitch.tv/DSL25. I stream every now and then. My schedule is on there. And remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next Create episode. Bye for now.